some amazing musicians with amazing stories and amazing people as well. I guess they're all people but so maybe we should go to introductions. So who do we have here?
Me? Oh, yeah. Whakalo whakuia o kou nganga pa ia o le moko whaikako mawhakanga nei. Ia lau ngō kai kuunga sa mai sa kunga o Samoa. Just to acknowledge the old people of this land and while we're here, my man, yo, what a place. What a place. And it's, yeah, we're just here doing some
filming.
Some film, a little bit of this, that.
What's the name of the podcast? For your podcast.
Our podcast is called
Walking Three Worlds.
That's right. So, look, I'm a cultural man, facilitator, beatboxer, producer, and yes, I work for different agencies doing music.
Can you name drop like how many tours you've done and all that kind of thing? Because he's actually quite famous.
Yeah, over the many years I've been able to tour. Well, first on the Beatbox Alliance, Australian Idol. I'm lucky enough to be nominated for the APRAs, to Q Music, to
and the festivals.
Festivals, yeah. Now I'm in the electronic world, so for all the boys out there, toured with Pop Bellies. What up, Dave? Timmy Trumpet. What's up, Timmy?
Timmy Trumpet. That's awesome.
Tato and Poland. What up? To all, but you can't forget the people who started me, from Chris Werner, Addicts, to Paul Master. Just be able to tour across the world. And last not least, Chris, my homie Chris from Control Delete. We finished our last tours before I left the game to do more cultural music.
So and right now we have Neil in New York City watching right now. Neil,
hey, Neil.
And Toby in California. So we have both sides of America on. And Veronica, how you going? And we have Steve over here. What do you do, Steve?
Well, I've been helping to manage my family dance company, one of the first traditional Indigenous dance companies in Australia.
Awesome.
We've been running over 50 years,
Wow.
And I've been lucky enough to travel around with them over the years.
Excellent. And we have Greg here. I've known Greg for a long time. And we first met when there was a very famous guitarist in the house.
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson
and the Helicasters.
You want to tell the story?
We had them in a shop that I was about to launch a new program that came out of America called Weekend Warriors. And Doug turns up and he talks to Eric Johnson.
Your wife was cutting onions.
Oh,
And
that's
started
right, from
crying.
barbecue.
Started
Oh,
crying.
I
I
can't
took
remember
over.
That's right.
I was chopping onions and cooking barbecue.
You were, and then he goes to Eric Johnson, this famous guy who, by the way, had a signature guitar by Fender, which is one of the top brands in the world. And Eric's in our shop, and Doug goes up and said, "Can I get up and jam with you?" And I was blown away because there's Eric up on stage, and Doug gets up on bass, and he's jamming with
Shredding
him.
around with it. Then I told him to change key and stuff.
Yeah, it was great, and that's when I first met Doug, and that was way back in 2001. And here we
20
are.
years ago.
20 years ago. But here we are, we're recording in Doug's studio a new podcast, and this is actually Stephen's a guest, Marama here is a guest, and of course my co-host, one of our three co-hosts is Tai Tunga, formerly Kitch, but that's still his real name.
And I'm the cameraman for that show.
That's it. And he's got, we realised that this lady at 16 was in New York, and she was telling us a story.
Amazing story.
Amazing story. Jazz connection. They're going to do a song.
Or do you want to tell the story first?
Oh, sorry, Mara.
So we got people actually in New York City right now watching. You want to tell the story of who you played with?
Yeah.
So very, very famous, like in jazz standard world. Yeah.
Yeah, I flew to New York from New Zealand when I was 16. We got our AMF, our American Federation of Musicians card in some dodgy caravan. But it worked. We ended up playing all the Playboy clubs from Montreal right down
What year?
1970 to 1972.
Wow.
I was in the States.
And who was rehearsing
One memorable Playboy club was the opening of the McAfee, New Jersey
Wow.
Playboy Club, and it was on the bill for New Year's and Christmas season was Duke Ellington, who I didn't really know.
Wow.
Duke
But I
Ellington.
knew
Yeah.
Duke Ellington,
Duke Ellington. Wow.
Only Duke.
Mel
Name drop.
Torme,
Not Sir
Um,
Duke.
Hey, Ronnie.
Kenny Rogers in the first
See, I know.
edition were there.
Kenny,
Joe Frazier was there sparring, so he had his little family band there, and I was with a group called the Māori Volcanics. They were famous in New Zealand, but you know, they had built up a reputation over the last 5 years travelling in the States. I was a new kid
in town.
new kid in town.
Eagles dropped
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
You
good
get-
pickup.
And we got all our instruments through this guy called Chuck's Music Wagon, which back in the day was quite a famous shop, I do believe. And after our manager died, after 6 months of us being there, Chuck took it over, and he just took us everywhere.
Mm.
Really nice Jewish
And who
shop.
did you play with?
Well, I managed where Billy Nuku was our drummer at the time, and he managed to. We were sort of allowed to go into the different rehearsal rooms, so we went into the rehearsal room with the Duke, and he had the most beautiful hands, is what I remember. But you know, it's something that I have etched in my mind and then I was in Hawaii when he passed, but I got to sing a few bars of Summertime with him. He was having a break, and Billy had a break as well, doing his thing on the drums.
Well, let's do it now.
That's
Okay.
history right
Yeah.
there, hey?
Yeah, very famous. It's excellent. And there's a lot of other bands that they've all mentioned, all of you. It's probably 100 years, maybe 101 if you had me. Musical experience, yeah. So.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish ups jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mammy, she's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't want to cry. One of these moments, you're gonna rise up singing, and then you spread your wings and you take to the sky. But until that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mommy standing by.
I'll tag.
With Daddy and Mommy standing
So, what an amazing rock and roll story! Actually, do a gig with the Duke, like who can't top that? But anyway, so yeah, been live filming this Walking Three Worlds podcast. I'm actually the cameraman, and now I'm the sound man.
And we're watching him,
And the
watching him,
And the
mate.
guitar man too.
But anyway, just sharing what's happening in this evolution of live streaming. So anyway, check the podcast out. There'll be a link somewhere, and hopefully we'll get some of these people on for being a guest on my show eventually.
That'd be
And
great.
a big shout out to Ronnie in Sydney, Neil in New York City,
We can read that.
and Toby in California. So
What's
yeah,
up?
and Veronica. Hey Veronica, how are you? So I'll see you again soon.
Peace.
Ciao. Ciao.
Bye. Bye.